Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm showing you guys how I created this look right here. So if you like it and you want to see how I did it and what products I use, then please keep watching. And before we get started, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it. You could do that right now if you want to just get it over with. I would greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Come say what's up to me, or if you have a question, you can leave it down below too. Follow me on Instagram because I'm the most active on my Instagram, and if you want to like talk to me, you can always send me a DM. I try to answer all my DMs. So follow me on Instagram. My link is in the description box down below, or my username will be up here somewhere. And don't forget to subscribe. Okay, let's start. I felt like doing some cute little like Mickey Mouse face blends today, so if I look like a bear or a mouse, that's why. Okay, I'm gonna do a little soap brow action. I talked about this in I think the last video I did where not the last video, but it's a video I did reviewing the new inked brow from Urban Decay. I think I started that video off by doing some soap brows. So basically I just wet my bar of soap. I'm rubbing that liquid around on the bar of soap just to create like a nice little paste, and I use setting spray as my liquid. Anyways, once I create a little paste and get it all over my spoolie, I am just going to brush it through my brow hair in the opposite direction that the hair grows, just to make sure all those brow hairs are coated, and then I'm going to brush them into place. And then I like to just press them down with my finger to really get them like stuck to my face. So they just like lay down, you know? And then obviously we'll do the same thing on this side. I love soap brows because they last all day and they're not gonna move. I have a couple little hairs I need to pluck. I really want to get my eyebrows like waxed. Not to change the shape, but just to clean up all the little tiny hairs around my eyebrows. They just need to be cleaned up. I haven't got my eyebrows waxed in literally years. I usually just pluck them a little bit by myself. I've been trying to grow them out because I made the mistake of like plucking them all off when I was younger because I wanted that like Pamela Anderson like thin 90s porn star brow, and I didn't realize that I wouldn't want that brow for the rest of my life. Don't pluck your eyebrows, ladies. But I don't like to get my eyebrows waxed because every time I wax or thread, like I break out around my eyebrows. I don't like that. Same with when I wax my mustache. Okay, let's move on. Okay, to fill in my eyebrows, I'm gonna use some Ka-Brow from Benefit, and I'm in the shade number 2. Sometimes I like to do my eyebrows dark, and sometimes I like to do them lighter. I feel like this is pretty true to color to my eyebrow hair though. Actually, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I have dark eyebrow hair, and then sometimes I feel like I don't. I mean, don't they look pretty dark? I don't know. Let's zoom you in so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna fill in the sparse areas like right here and then over here. I'm kind of just flicking the brush through, you know? I'm not like doing it too heavy. I don't like the way brows look when they're filled in like too heavy, you know? I don't want like blocks above my eyes. I just want some brow hair. I'm just lightly kind of just drawing like little thin lines or like hair-like strokes to make it look like my brows are real. See? Give them a little bit of shape. Shape them up. Are we too bright? I feel like we're a little too bright. Is that better? I don't know. It looks too dark. Alright, now I'm gonna fill in the sparse areas on this side. Always remember to like when you're looking close in the mirror at your brow, whether you're plucking or filling in, look close but always look away. You know, like pull your mirror away from you so that you can get like a better idea of what you're doing, because sometimes if you work too close and then you never like pull away to see the bigger picture, once you pull away you're like whoa. So always pull away from the mirror and examine throughout your brow process. Okay, I'm gonna take some concealer. This is the COVERGIRL True Blend Undercover Concealer. I'm using the shade Golden Ivory, but I'm just gonna use this to prime my eyelids right now and get them all ready for some eyeshadow. I'm gonna use my Morphe E8 brush to buff this concealer all over my eyelid. Sometimes I will go in and like carve out my brows, but that's usually only when I like make a mistake and need to clean them up a little bit. Otherwise, I don't really like to do that anymore because I feel like they look less natural when I do that. I feel like when I don't carve out my eyebrows with concealer, they look more natural. But when I carve them out, they look less natural. So I'm not doing that today. I'm gonna let them look the way they look. So when I get the concealer up here towards the brow, I'm very careful to not get that concealer on my brows. Just bringing it right up to the edge. Alright, I'm going to play it with the Urban Decay Wired palette again. I kind of have an idea what I'm going to do, but I'm not 100% sure. What I think I'm going to do is do orange all over the lid and do a blue wing, but we'll see. See how that goes. So I'm going to take, this orange shade right here. It's called Shock? No, it's not called either of those. It's called Switch. I should really, Shock is this purple one right here. This one, okay, I'm going to take this orange shade right here called Switch, and I'm going to take this onto my eyelid. You know what? I'm going to grab a different brush. I'm going to use this like big flat eyeshadow brush. It's kind of flat, kind of fluffy. It's from one of the Urban Decay Naked palettes, but I'm going to use it for my eyeshadow. And I just want to pack this on all over the lid. This has a lot of kickback. And I want to let you know that this is one of the pressed pigments, okay, in the palette. Which, on the back of the palette, it says not to use it on your eyes, but can't tell me what to do. I am going to use it on my eyes, but I just want to let you know, like, disclaimer, the palette says not to use these shades on your eyes, so I guess do you know? I'm not saying you should, I'm just saying I am. So I'm packing this shade on all over the lid. This is going to be kind of a simple, it's going to be an easy look to do. It's not going to look simple, it's going to look pretty crazy, but it's really simple to achieve in my opinion. So once I pack that shadow on all over the lid, I'm just going to go in with a fluffier brush. This is a Profusion brush. It doesn't have a name. I think it's from one of their palettes too, but I'm just using a fluffy Profusion brush and blowing this further beyond the crease. I'm going to drag it out a little bit because that's what I like to do with my shadows, and just blending this into the crease. And I'm going to just alternate between packing this on and blending this out. So I blend that, but I still want a little more intensity, so I'm going to pack on some more shadow. And by packing on, I mean I like dip into the eyeshadow, right? Tap out my brush. Lots of kickback, but that's why you want to tap it out. And then I'm going to press. I'm not rubbing or blending right now. I'm literally just like stamping this shadow onto the lid. I'm like tapping it on, okay, with this brush, and then I'll go back in with the other fluffier brush and blend. And I'm just gonna alternate between those two techniques until I get this eyeshadow looking exactly how I want it, and then we can move on. Alright, I want to do a bright blue winged liner today, so I'm gonna use the Makeup Forever Aqua XL color paint in the shade M20, and I'm going to use this super tiny fine point little brush, angled brush. This is from Sigma. It's the E06 winged liner brush. So good. And I'm gonna draw a wing on. This stuff dries a little quick, so I put some on my hand right here. My skin, my body will warm up the product a little bit and also kind of act as like my little palette, my very own little paint palette. I'm not very good at wing liner, but I'm gonna do it. So I'm just gonna draw this wing on, and then I will be right back. Okay, so I got the wing basically how I want it, but as you can see, it's not very it's kind of like patchy. Okay, so I'm gonna go into the palette now, and I'm gonna take, whoa, where am I? This blue shade right here called Chaos. Is that right? Yep, got it right. Called Chaos. And I'm just gonna go over that wing with some eyeshadow now. And I'm gonna take it on a different angled brush. This is an angled brush from e.l.f. Cosmetics. A little bit bigger than the other one that I just used. Ooh, this blue is super pigmented. So I'm just gonna go over top and just press that on. So that Makeup Forever color paint just kind of acted as like a base. And now I'm going to put this blue shadow from the palette over top, and it's making that color just pop way more. Wow, that looks way better. So I felt like the Makeup Forever color paint was, you know, a similar color, but it was a little dull. This shadow definitely brightened it up a a lot. That is so pretty. Alright, the wings are done. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm going to pop on some lashes. Today I'm going to use some velour lashes. These are the Lash of the Day collection. And I also have a code for velour lashes if you want a little discount. I believe I get a small commission. Just disclosing that. If you want to use my code, you can. If you don't have to, but I do have a code and I will put it somewhere on the screen for you if you want to use it to get some velour lashes. And these are in the style, I think they're called Caption This, I think. Super pretty. Okay, I'm gonna zoom you out. Okay, before I finish the eye, I'm gonna do the face and then we'll go back in and I'll do the lower lash line portion of this look. I feel like I'm doing this so like a little too laid back, slow. I'm taking my time. I just did a workout before this, so I'm like super relaxed and I'm like, I don't know, just chilling, but I'm going slower than I want to go. Okay, so I'm going to use the Glam Glow Super Mattifying Primer. Okay, so I've been using this the past few days and I really like it. It comes with this little scooper thing right here. It does have a mirror in the compact. It's like a primer in a compact. So what I like to do is just take the little scooper, scoop out some, smudge it on my face like that. I know it kind of seems like a lot, but it's not. And then it's very thick, but I like to focus it in my T-zone area where I have like the largest pores, and then on my chin, and then up here a little bit on my forehead. It is a mattifying primer, so I like to focus it in the areas that I get the most oily, which would definitely be in my T-zone area. And then I drag it out all around my face. Never mind this thing, that's the result of picking at your face too much. Honestly, it was like nothing. It was like a tiny little blackhead that I decided to mess with, and then now I have a huge scab on my face. The little blackhead looked way better than this looks. Like, don't mess with your face, people. I don't know why, but I'm in like such a bad habit at picking at my face. I need to just leave it alone because honestly my skin is like not that bad and I make it way worse by messing with it all the time. I think I'm doing something good. I'm not. I just need to leave it alone. Okay, so now I have that primer all pressed into my skin. I just use my fingers for that. And I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Finish Foundation in the shade Buff Bisque. You're probably asking yourself why I would use a mattifying primer when I'm going to use a dewy foundation. That's because I just feel like this combo works. The mattifying primer creates like a nice canvas for any foundation, in my opinion, on my skin anyways. And I feel like I don't get, okay, I have oily skin, so when I wear a dewy foundation, I look like an oil slick, but I feel like using the mattifying primer before a dewy foundation, for me, because I have oily skin, lets the foundation be like the only dewy thing. You know, like my natural oils like don't really add to it when I'm, as much anyways, when I'm wearing a mattifying primer. Maybe it's just my imagination, but that's how I feel about it. So this has like a little spatula and I just like to spatula it onto my face. And then I'm going to use a big fluffy powder brush. This one is from Royal and Langnickel. I really like this one. I'm just going to buff this all over my face. I love this foundation though. Honestly, it's so good. I am usually not a fan of dewy foundations, but I feel like it gives such a good finish. It's just so good. I highly recommend it, or at least trying it. I feel like it makes my skin look so good, and I have oily skin. These space buns look funny. Honestly, I did them because my hair is so dirty right now. And like I said, I worked out before this. I literally thought, you know what, I'm gonna film a makeup tutorial and then shower after. So I'm literally just filming this because I wanted to play with makeup, and then I'm gonna take it all off and take a shower and wash my hair and do all that. Okay, for concealer, I'm gonna use the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer. I'm using the shade Golden Natural for my face. I used a lighter shade when I primed my eyelids. And I'm gonna use my Morphe E8 brush to blend this out. So I posted a makeup tutorial the other day on Instagram. It was one of those like quick, like 1-minute makeup tutorials, you know, like sped up, no talking, just the music. And everyone was asking about this brush. I didn't know anyone cared about it that much, but this is the E8 brush from Morphe, and I love it for concealer. It's like a dense little, I don't know, just like a dense little fluffy brush. A dense fluffy brush, does that even make sense? Or is that like an oxymoron, a contradiction? I don't know. But it's so good for concealer if you're looking for a little concealer brush. I recommend trying this one, the Morphe E8. I don't have a code for Morphe, but hopefully one day I will. I really love Morphe brushes. I use a lot of Morphe brushes. For contour, I'm going to use the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer Stick. Okay, so recently I started using this a different way, meaning before I would just like draw on lines. Okay, I'm sure you saw that in like the last tutorial that I did, but I decided to just take it onto a brush like this because I feel like when I draw the stick directly onto my skin, I feel like it's like more harsh and kind of like disrupts my foundation. But when I use a brush and then I pat it or blend it into the skin this way with just like tapping it onto my face, I just feel like it gives a softer look and it's easier to blend this way. The other way, like when I draw a harsh line with the stick itself, then I have to like blend out that harsh line. I don't know, I just feel like it messes with my foundation when I do that, so I like to do it this way instead. And it gives like a more subtle contour versus like a harsh line. I'm not into harsh lines anymore, okay? Not into that. I want like an airbrush look, okay? Oh my god, I can't wait till this stupid scab goes away. It's so ugly. Alright, I'm gonna take my favorite setting powder, the Maybelline Loose Finishing Powder, the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade Fair Light. I'm getting old and I'm getting some fine lines, and my makeup, no matter what I do, always creases in those little wrinkles. So I need to set them, try and lessen that problem. So I'm just setting underneath my eyes. I love the setting powder because I swear to god, as soon as I put it on my face, like my skin starts looking like flawless. And it's also going to keep my makeup set in this area, especially because this is the area of my face that gets the most oily. So when I set my face with a little bit of setting powder, especially this specific one because it's so good, then I don't get as oily and my makeup lasts all day. I need to get some like under eye filler though, I think, and some Botox. I'm getting to that age, I think. It's sad, but it's true. It's sad, but it's true. I like to set my nose too because I feel like product has a hard time staying put on my nose. I don't know if it's because my nose is big or if it's because it's greasy. I don't know, but it doesn't stay that well in this area. So set my whole nose and then my chin and up here a little bit. Oh yeah, and I just use this little setting brush from Real Techniques. I really like this one. Love Real Techniques brushes. Okay, I've really been liking this cream blush from the new CoverGirl Clean Fresh collection. I used to be very afraid of cream blushes, but I decided to try this one and I love it. Like, I love it. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
I love it. It's so good. So I'm using the color 330 Sweet Innocence. So I just like to take a little bit onto like a flat hard surface like this one, but like a little bead like that. That's honestly probably even too much. Maybe not. Here is that highlighter that I like. I'm going to use this domed little powder brush. It's kind of bent, but it's just a domed little powder brush. This is from Japanesque. Everything, oh no, Japanesque is still on there. I think you could buy these at Walmart, but I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, I just like to take this cream blush and just tap it around on this little palette thing, which is actually a mirror, and I use it as a palette. And this kind of dries fast, so you gotta work quick. And then I just tap it onto my cheeks like this. Look how cute that is. It's so pretty, right? Kind of gives like a natural look, and it's buildable. It's very pigmented. I'm using a super light hand because I don't want it to look too crazy, but it's so pretty. This does have a bit of a shine or shimmer to it. It's not a matte blush, so just keep that in mind. But I feel like because it has a shimmer, it gives a more natural type of look, you know, because it kind of gives that like glowy look. It's like a glowy blush, so it's not matte. I love the whole like, I think it's called e-girl. I don't know, you guys. I'm so old. I'm a mom. I'm old. I'm not that hip and cool anymore. So I don't know all the lingo, but I think it's called e-girl, that like e-girl look, and they look all cute and they have like super exaggerated blush and they just look all like cute and blushed out. I like that look. My blush looks a little extreme. I don't think it looks that extreme on the monitor, but in my mirror it looks a little extreme, but I'm just gonna leave it because why not? And then I also really love the CoverGirl Clean Fresh Cooling Glow Stick. I'm using the shade So Guilty. And I've just found that I really like to apply the product to the brush and then apply it to my face versus just like drawing this on. I feel like it goes on better when you use a brush this way. This is very creamy. It's pretty subtle, to be honest. It is cooling. It feels like nice and cooling. And I just tap it onto the tops of my cheekbones. It's not a crazy like pigmented highlighter. It's just like a subtle type of glow. And I'm using it on, I think this is a Luxie brush. Yeah, my Luxie 512 small contouring brush. I like to use it for this purpose. But see, it's just pretty, like a nice subtle glow, nothing too crazy. I like to highlight up here. I really love these products from the Clean Fresh line. I've been using them like every single day. Alright, so we're pretty much done with the face. Before I do my lips, I'm going to finish this eye look. So I'm going to go in with the Makeup Forever Aqua XL eye pencil in the shade M22, which I believe is just a tad bit darker than the blue we used for the base of this liner. And I'm going to put this along my lower lash line. Pretty dry, to be honest. Definitely not a glide on pencil, which I don't really like. It kind of hurts, to be honest. I don't know if that's because this one is so old. I just sharpened it, but it's like kind of rough on my poor under eye area. Ow, it's like really pulling and hurting. I don't like that at all. I honestly think I'm gonna throw this away now. Yep, into the trash can it went. I'm gonna take this eyeshadow brush. This is the cream shader brush from El Makiage. I'm gonna attempt to kind of just buff out that pencil a little bit just to soften it so it's not like a harsh line. Oh my god, it's so like hard to work with. I wanted like a creamy, I was hoping this was like a creamy pencil, but it's not at all. It's rude. It's blending out, but like hardly. That's a little bit better. Alright, and I'm sure you can guess what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna go back into the palette. I'm going to take this shade again called Chaos. It's a beautiful blue, like a bright, perfect blue. It's so good. Like a, what would you call it? Like cobalt blue? Is that right? I don't know, but I actually really love this eyeshadow. I'm going to use a different brush though because this one's too big. I'm going to use this cute little baby from Profusion. This is the small pointed eyeshadow brush. These are new brushes from Profusion and I really like them. So I'm kind of just bringing this shadow up right here to meet the wing and then dragging it along my lower lash line just to complete this eye look. There's a lot of fallout or kickback with these shadows. They're kind of chalky in my opinion. This one is so pretty though. So pigmented. I feel like I'm always afraid to like really smoke out that lower lash line, so I'm just gonna go in and like super smoke it out because I really like this blue. I switched back to this bigger eyeshadow brush and I'm just gonna like super smoke out the lower lash line because like why not? Let's just make it bold and dramatic. Looks a little crazy, but we're just gonna rock it. Alright, I'm gonna take this black eyeliner pencil from NYX and I am going to just put a little bit of this into my waterline. I feel like it needs it. I don't really like to put black in my waterline. I used to love putting black in my waterline, but not so much anymore, but I feel like this look kind of needs it. So today we'll do a black waterline. It's for like old time's sake. And then I'm going to take my Bad Gal Bang mascara, give these false lashes a little baby coat. Oh, by the way, I wanted to mention that, okay, so this blue is super pretty, but I feel like it doesn't look as intense unless it has like a good base to cling on to, like the color paint that we used for the wing or the pencil that I use on my lower lash line, because when I tried to like blend out the lower lash line I wanted it to have the same intensity as I blended it out, but the shadow that wasn't on top of anything, like a little below the blue pencil, you know what I mean, it did not look as intense at all. So just keep that in mind if you use this palette and you're expecting this blue to be super vibrant. I feel like it only looks super vibrant over a base that it can cling on to. This looks so crazy. Okay, I need some lips because my lips be looking crazy. Okay, I'm gonna use my current favorite lip combo, which is this right here. This is the Ferocious Brow Pencil in the shade Light Brown from the BALM, and this is the ColourPop Velvet Luxe liquid lipstick in the shade Casual Dress. In my last video, my last makeup video, I used like a pinker version, or like the same product but in pink. This time I'm using a more orangey one, like a nude orange. You might be wondering why I like to use a brow pencil for lip liner. Honestly, it's because I like the color. I wanted like a more like true brown ashy shade. I saw some other girl who had like the perfect lip liner color on use a lip pencil, and I was like, wow, I need to try that. So ever since then I have been using brow pencils for lip liner. Just like the perfect like ashy brown tone, and like with that and with this lip color over, it's just like the perfect lip combo ever. And then sometimes if I need to, I'll take a flat little like concealer brush and kind of just clean up the edges if I messed up a little bit. Sometimes I don't need to take any concealer or anything on the brush because like with like all the foundation on my face already, like there's enough product to kind of just push that liner into place, if that makes sense. I'm not like necessarily covering anything, I'm kind of just like pushing the liner, smudging it back into place. I feel like when I say smudge it makes it sound like it's messy, but that's why I like to say like push the product into place with this clean little brush. This is from Alamar Cosmetics, by the way, but you can kind of find like little tiny rounded concealer type eyeshadow brushes anywhere, and that is this lip combo. And I feel like once you have your lip on, everything just looks so complete. Look at these buns, they look funny. They're fun buns. They make me want to move like this. Oh my god. Okay, and for setting spray, I'm going to use this one. This is the D-Slick setting spray from Urban Decay. I don't use this one a lot. Honestly, don't know how it wears throughout the whole day because I've only used it like once before today. But I love their all-nighter, so this one I'm sure is good. And that is it for this look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys like this crazy blue wing. I actually really like it. I've been loving playing with colors lately. It's so like out of my comfort zone for me, but I always have fun when I play with colors because colors are fun. So I hope you guys like this look. If you did, please let me know by giving this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me on Instagram, leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!